Hello everyone and welcome back. Let me begin today's talk with a line from an old Eastern classic, the Kegentan. 工人之恶无太严，要自己看守. When correcting someone's fault, don't be too harsh. First, consider whether they're able to bear it. This line reminds us that discipline without empathy can damage more than it teaches, especially when it comes to our children. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to discipline children in a way that nurtures their emotional development rather than breaks their spirit. And if you're interested in timeless wisdom applied to modern parenting, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of insight. Part 1, how to know if your child can handle correction. Now here's a question for you. How do you know if your child is emotionally ready to receive correction? Let me share 4 practical ways to assess this. Watch their emotional reaction. If they cry, freeze up, or drop their head in shame, they may not be ready yet. These are signs their emotional tank is running low. Listen to their words and tone. If they say okay but their voice is flat, defensive, or forced, it's likely they're still struggling inside. Silence, sarcasm, or escape behaviors often mean the same. Recall past reactions. Has your child accepted this kind of correction before or pushed back hard? Past responses can be powerful clues. Consider their age and development. Younger children need concrete, simple guidance. Teens especially are sensitive to criticism, so blunt or harsh words can shut them down entirely. Part 2, how to discipline in a way they can receive. Now that we know how to gauge readiness, let's talk about how to discipline in a way they can actually hear and grow from it. Here are 5 tools every parent should keep in mind. Lead with emotion, then understanding, then advice. Try saying, "That must have been hard," or "I can see why you felt that way." Emotional validation opens the door to real listening. Use empathy, not accusation. Instead of, "Why did you do that again?" Try, "What was going through your mind?" Instead of, "I'm so disappointed," try, "That must have been tough. What do you think we could try next time?" Use stories and metaphors. A short fable, a parable, or even a metaphor like, "This situation reminds me of a time when," can lower defenses and stir reflection. Follow up after emotions cool down. Later, once calm, ask, "I felt this earlier. How did you feel?" This helps repair emotional safety and shows you care about the relationship, not just the rules. Be brief and clear. Long lectures trigger resistance and tune out. Say what matters most in as few words as possible. Closing, final takeaway. Here's the heart of today's message. Discipline is not about control, it's about connection. It's not just about telling your child what they did wrong. It's about how you tell them, when you tell them, and whether they feel safe enough to grow from it. Especially with older children or adult kids, correction must shift into partnership, not parenting in the traditional sense. And let's never forget the wisdom of the Kegentan. 不太严，要自己看守. Do not be too harsh, always ask, "Can they bear it?" That's not just good advice for parenting. That's a philosophy of relationship. Call to action. If you found this video helpful and you want more insight grounded in timeless wisdom and modern psychology, please like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon to stay connected. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Hello, friends. Today I want to begin with a line from an old Eastern text, the Kegentan. It says, 工人之恶无太严，要自己看守. When pointing out someone's faults, don't be too harsh. First, ask yourself, can they truly handle it? This wisdom isn't just about parenting little kids. It's especially relevant when giving advice to our adult children, the ones who've grown up, moved out, and are building lives of their own. Because even if our intentions are good, unsolicited advice can feel like control. And love, if mishandled, can come across as criticism. Part 1, can they even handle it? When your child is grown, advice doesn't always feel like love. It can feel like judgment, or worse, interference. So how do you know if they're actually ready to hear what you have to say? First, pay attention to the tone of the conversation, not just the words. If they avoid eye contact, shift their body, or end their sentences. Vaguely, that's a sign they're not emotionally open to feedback. But if they ask follow-up questions and express their point of view calmly, that shows readiness. Second, distance is a message. If they avoid your calls or delay responding, they may be overwhelmed, not just busy. Third, consider the season of life they're in. New marriage, raising kids, financial stress, these all limit emotional capacity. Even gentle advice can feel heavy in hard seasons. Fourth, know their personality. Some adult children value autonomy. Deeply, they react strongly to anything that sounds like correction. Others who feel emotionally close may welcome feedback if it's offered gently. Part 2, how to offer guidance that builds, not breaks. Want your child to hear you without shutting down? Here are 5 ways to guide without pushing too hard. First, start with a question, not a command. Don't do it like that. Have you thought about other ways to approach it? This creates space, not resistance. Second, lead with curiosity, not criticism. What's been weighing on your mind lately? Understanding builds connection. Third, speak from experience, not authority. We had similar struggles when we were your age. It invites empathy, not defense. Fourth, respect their choices. Here's my thought, but it's your life, and I trust your judgment. This protects their autonomy. Fifth, always end with encouragement. I share this because I care, and I'll always be in your corner. Words heal when they come from warmth. Part 3, what happens if they can't handle it? When adult children aren't emotionally ready and we ignore the signs, here's what can happen. First, emotional distance grows. Second, they start to believe my parents don't really understand me. Third, and that resentment can leak into their marriage. Your family is too controlling. I feel judged every time we visit. That's not the legacy any of us want. Summary, heart over harshness. So here's the bottom line. Before you speak, read the room. Turn advice into a conversation, ask, listen, share, support. Because discipline without sensitivity can hurt, but empathy can turn even correction into connection. Let's carry this ancient wisdom with us. 无太严，要思其看守. Don't be too harsh. First, ask, can they carry the weight of your words? Love isn't just what you say. It's how and when and whether the other person is ready to receive it. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. For the full version of this talk, check the link in the description or visit our channel homepage. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Hello, friends. Today, I'd like to begin with a line of ancient wisdom from the Kegontan, a 2,300 years ago Eastern classic. 教人一善，无过高，当使其可从. When teaching someone to do good, don't set the bar so high that it feels out of reach. Make sure it's something they can actually follow. This speaks to a powerful truth, especially when offering advice to our adult children. We often give guidance with the best intentions. But if our words sound too lofty, too idealistic, or too disconnected from real life, we risk sounding more like a philosopher than a parent. And that can close the door to real connection. Part 1, when good advice sounds out of reach. Even the best advice can fall flat if it feels unreachable. Quoting Plato or referencing high-minded ideals might feel noble to us. But to our children who are paying rent, raising kids, or simply trying to survive it can come across as out of touch. When advice feels like it belongs in a book, rather than their actual life, they quietly tune out. In psychology, this is called psychological distance. The higher and more abstract the message, the less likely it is to land. Part 2, 3 psychological keys to advising adult children. So how can we offer advice that actually connects? Here are 3 psychology-backed principles every parent of adult children should remember. 1, respect their autonomy. Your child is no longer a child. They have the right and responsibility to make their own choices. So instead of, you should do this, try, it's your decision, of course. But here's something from my experience that might help. 2, lead with empathetic listening. Before giving advice, show you care enough to listen. Say things like, sounds like work has been tough lately. Then pause. Let them talk. Once they open up, you might say, I know advice can feel heavy sometimes, but if it helps, here's something I went through that might relate. This lowers their defenses and opens their heart. 3. Offer suggestions, not standards. Advice should feel like a gift, not a performance review. By your age, we had a house and a family. We had our own struggles too at your age. Here's how we got through it. Take what's useful and leave the rest. This brings your wisdom down to earth where they can actually walk on it. Summary: teach with heart, not height. Let's wrap this up with the core message. When your children become adults, your role shifts. They don't need orders. They don't need perfection. They need presence, listening, and realistic encouragement. Just as Kegintan reminds us, 无过高，当时即刻从. Don't aim too high. Speak in ways they can actually follow. Because love isn't in how high our words reach. It's in how low we're willing to bend to meet them where they are. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon. On this channel, we share timeless wisdom and modern psychology for deeper relationships, especially between parents and adult children. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.